So this is the Borough Council Workshop Meeting for August 31st, 2022. September Workshop Meeting Agenda. We'll start with call to order.
President Ferguson.
Here.
Vice President Gerard.
Here.
Councilmember Fagan.
Here.
Councilmember Cresser.
Here.
Councilmember Stevens.
Here.
Mayor Gerard.
Here.
Borough Manager Snyder.
Here.
Borough Solicitor Andrew.
Here. All right, we'll get to item number 1, approval of meeting agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll second.
I got a motion from Councilwoman Cresser, a second from Councilman Gerard. Any questions, changes to the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, item 2, public input. Anyone from the public wishes to speak, please rise, state your name and address for the reason for address the council. And if you can use the podium with the microphone, that would be great.
Speak loudly. My name's Paul Dowling on 132 Columbia. And I have a request for this meeting. When you get to the certification, 546, if you would go over the benefit, the cost, and whether or not it was in a budget, I would appreciate it.
So that item is not on the agenda this evening. That item is just on under announcements to say that we will have a public hearing on September 21st to talk about the codification process to accept the new code. And during that time, I can give a budget review of where we were in that process, but I can state that, yes, it was budgeted in the 2022 budget to go through codification.
This has been a process we've been going through for years now. So
Oh, has it really?
I think we started, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I was gonna say it had to be at least 3 years of the process, and I know that we budgeted funds every year to do the codification. And I certainly can have that at the September 21st, more numbers, and to just say, yes, that it was budgeted.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Sure, no problem.
All right, if there's no one else, we'll go to item number 3, announcements.
The strategic planning meeting is scheduled for September 21st at 5:30 p.m. here in council chambers. The next council meeting is September 21st, the regular meeting at 7:30 p.m. here in council chambers. A public hearing is scheduled for the borough code adoption, September 21st at 7:30 p.m. The Hatfield Museum Historical Society is scheduled to meet Tuesday, September 27th at 7 p.m. at the Hatfield Volunteer Fire Company. PROC is scheduled to meet Wednesday, September 28th, at 8 a.m. in council chambers. The next planning commission meeting is scheduled for October 3rd at 7 p.m. here in council chambers. The borough offices will be closed Monday, September 5th in observance of the Labor Day holiday. And the Hatfield Borough Fall Fest is scheduled for Saturday, September 24th at 3 p.m. on East Lincoln Avenue.
Any questions? All right, if not, we'll go to item number 4, reports of standing committees and the mayor. So Budget, Labor, Finance Committee report, we haven't met, but as we mentioned during our last meeting, budget time is upon us. So everyone get prepared and be ready to spend some late nights going through numbers. We'll talk next about planning, building, and zoning.
The committee has not met recently, nor has the planning commission, so I have nothing new to report this evening.
Public safety.
We have a meeting tonight and we're going to be targeting speeding. And we're also going to be going over the rental agreements for the borough. And also we're going to be looking into some leash laws.
Sorry, what was that?
Leash laws, we're going to be looking into some so that we can get an overall, just like a standard of what the ruling is for that.
For leashes, dog leashes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Any questions? All right, public works, property equipment.
We have not met, but we have a meeting scheduled for September 14th at 6 o'clock.
How about utilities?
Utilities has not met recently. The only thing I can report is that the delinquency rate for the electrical collections are still going slowly down, so it's a good sign.
All right, how about Huron?
Herc just met the other day. We're recognizing 4 businesses of the month for the month of September. They're Godshalls Auto, Partnet Heating and Air Conditioning, the Hatfield Auto Museum, and Life Storage. The Quakey Site Centennial is scheduled for June 23rd, June of 2023 rather. And we are looking about doing some fundraisers of some sort, such as maybe selling T-shirts and hoodies with the borough insignia on there. And also we're looking about possibly opening up for the residents here in the borough a logo design contest so they can come up with something for presenting for the centennial celebration. The financial report, there has been no change in our finances for that. Its balance still remains $3,153. And we're looking for volunteers for the full fest and car show on September 24th.
Any questions? All right, dual action committee, there's nothing to report, so we'll go on to Mayor Marion Gerard.
The only thing I want to report is that I will be resuming office hours at the Borough Building after Labor Day. And it will be the second and fourth Wednesday from 11:30 to 1:30, and then the first and third Thursday by appointment.
Any questions? If not, we'll go to item 5, reports and correspondence, the monthly investment report.
The monthly investment report was in your packets this evening. As we highlighted last meeting, you can see we're in the black for this month, which is great. The cash report was not included in your packets this month, as today is the 31st. It will be included in the September 21st regular meeting packet.
And it looks like if we can keep that trajectory, we might actually break out even this year, so.
Yeah, I have a note that we have been in contact with TD Bank, like I spoke last time, been in contact with KeyBank. We just keep on top of it, make sure everything seems to be going as good as can. I mean, it's hard to project the market, but, you know, we try to stay on top of it.
All right, any questions? Monthly EIT and LST, again, those numbers, just real quick look like they're up versus the same month last year, so that's a good sign.
Yep, yeah, it looks like we're going positive.
Monthly year to date.
Monthly year-to-date was not in your packets for the same reason. It's just today's the 31st because we had to move the meeting up. That report will be included in the September 21st meeting packet.
Police department report.
Besides what's in your packet, it's been a quiet 10 days, so there's nothing further to report. We're still accepting applications though for the entry-level test for police officer.
All right, we like it when there's nothing really for you to report. How about our fire department report?
There was no report included in your packets, but I just want to highlight, we had met at the fire company last night to see an analytics presentation and some of their training. And I thought that the report that Mr. Sheeschultz gave was very well and very thorough, and it just proves to show how vital the volunteer fire department is for the borough and what they contribute to this community.
EMS.
There was no EMS report in this packet. It normally comes out the first week in September, so if we do have one, I will include it in the September 21st packet.
It's not just gonna throw us all.
Yeah, it's because we had to move up a week, so it's kind of, yeah.
All right, public works. Mr. T.
So not a lot since the last week that we just met. A lot of rebuilding storm sewer inlets. One thing I will note that is not included in my report is the concrete has all been finished up on Poplar Street and East Lincoln Avenue in anticipation for the mill and overlay, which is anticipated to start the day after Labor Day, next Tuesday. So moving right along with those projects. And we already talked about the last meeting, the power outage that we had, 29 Poplar Street.
Any questions for Mr. Stevens? All right, if not, we'll go on to the engineering report.
Chad's report was included in the packets. He did highlight the ADA and the roadway resurfacing project. What I wanted to highlight is a lot of the focus has been on the Broad Street, storm sewer, North Main Street, storm and sanitary sewer improvement projects. He gave a nice synopsis of where we kind of are at with the PennDOT highway occupancy permit. We are continuing to work on that with PennDOT, continue to work on that with McMahon to work on a detour route for that project. So we're just waiting on the HOP application, and when things go through with that, we'll let you know. We are also working with the zoning hearing board order that was enacted for 200 North Main Street, which involves a storm sewer line that they had suggested that went down North Main Street, which is right in the middle of our project that's going on next year. So we're seeing how we can possibly incorporate that into our project, or if we have to reroute that to another location. This is a conversation that Steve, myself, and Chad have been ongoing. We certainly will bring in Bill Brown from 200 North Main Street and Alliance Housing into the conversation, and that's kind of just a work in progress. I don't really have any updates besides that. We understand it was an issue from the zoning hearing board, and we'll try to see if we have to incorporate that before we put the bid out, which is planned to be out this fall.
Do you have an estimated date you think you'll have that resolved by, for the answer?
Yeah, so Chad just wanted to have a conversation with the zoning hearing board with Jim Rudolph. He did that. Jim gave his kind of explanation of where their thoughts were. Basically, the main issue at the zoning hearing board meeting was just stormwater management. A lot of people have issues on East School, on Forest and stormwater, and the property at 200 North Main. Is it going to bring more stormwater issues, and where's that stormwater going to go? Well, we don't really have a date yet of when we'll have it resolved. It's just, we're in conversation of what's the best route right now to go, what direction should it go, where should it go? We're kind of evaluating that, and then once we decide, we'll bring in Bill to the conversation, because it's obviously something that that developer would have to fund as part of that project, whether they have a shovel in the ground or not, because we have a project that's going to start next year. So it's kind of working on timing and just working on having the conversations of the best route for it to go. We would like that conversation and to be done probably yesterday or 4 days ago, because we want the bid out in the fall. And if we're going to go down North Main, we have to design that pipe, and we have to incorporate that, and we're trying our best not to push that project back any further. So Chad's been working on it. I had a conversation with him Monday. Steve could have talked to him since then, and he talked to Jim Rudolph, I believe, yesterday or the day before as well. Just kind of have to design something, what's the best way, and kind of look at all the possible scenarios to get stormwater off of there, but not impede somebody else's property that already could have issues.
And then the North Main sewer project. Oh, there was a fire alarm on board. The rerouting, the detour, is it a definite we're gonna have a detour, or there still is an option to either have a detour or not have a detour?
So we would like to have a detour, and PennDOT is open to us having a detour. We just have to work it out. So if we can have a detour, that's the route we're going to go. But they have to see the plan from McMahon to see where everything kind of disperses everybody, especially with the connector route project going on, and to see if they would just approve it. So they're open to the concept and open to the idea, but it hasn't been approved yet.
Okay.
They have to see a more detailed plan. What we submitted, they said it just didn't have enough detail.
But we're the ones that are recommending, it's not coming from PennDOT.
Correct, yes. Yeah, we are the ones that are recommending a detour.
All right, any questions? All right, what about zoning office, building code, and property maintenance?
Bob's report was included in your packets. I just wanted to highlight, the list of violations for, feeding of feral cats, as that was just, a hot topic ordinance that was going on for the past, at least year and a half that we had enacted. And that, we are issuing violations on that ordinance.
Questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
When those NOVs are sent out to the individual, is that sent by regular or is it sent by certified mail?
Certified mail,
Certified.
yes. Sometimes Bob does regular and certified,
Okay.
but there's always a certified copy.
Certified. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, how about fire marshal, fire safety inspection?
There was not a report included in your packets, but I will highlight that fire safety inspections are continuing to be scheduled almost on a daily basis. Calls are coming in for people to schedule their fire safety inspections, and Bob and code inspections is taking care of those.
How about pool advisory?
There was not a report in your packets, and I will touch base with Caitlin to see if I can get a report for September 21st.
Any questions on reports and correspondence? If not, we'll go to the manager's report.
The manager's report for this month is pretty similar to the one that was 2 weeks ago. I did follow up on the CMAC grant, the synchronization of signals with Anton, and just waiting to hear back from a response. I said that about the computers that we still have here, and that there still seems to be a backup on Main Street at significant times throughout the day. And when was the project going to be complete? So I'm waiting for an answer for that. If I have one, I'll provide it at the September 21st meeting. Just wanted to highlight and remind everyone that Steve and I will be out of town attending the PMEA conference in Penn State, September 7th through the 9th. Lindsay's report was included in your packet, and Rich highlighted Fall Fest. I just wanted to note that I told her I would let you know, we are looking for volunteers. So she has a sign-up sheet. If you guys want to volunteer, it's a great day in the borough. She'd be happy to have you. And last items of interest, North Penn School District board meetings. So as you know, North Penn School District has a new superintendent this year, and his office has reached out to many municipalities in the area, including Hatfield Borough, for the interest of hosting North Penn School District meetings. Unfortunately, our room is just a little bit too small to hold the meetings, but I did say we would love to be a part of the North Penn School District community, as we are, and we would love to host a meeting of some sort here at the Borough Hall. I know that might not be the big board meetings that they have, but I think it would be great for us to become part of that community as Lansdale, and I think Montgomery Township is going to host some meetings. They just have a little bit bigger meeting space. So I'm not sure what that will look like for next year, but I did offer our space, as I think that it would be good that the North Penn community can come see us as well. So we just have a little bit of smaller space than some other people.
Yeah, I would move that space, just invite them.
Yeah, and when they, we had taken some pictures of the room, and they just decided it was a little bit too small for the big meetings, but some type of meeting certainly we can have here. We'll work on a schedule, and I'll get something out to you guys. But I think that's really exciting that the school district wants to go on the road and be part of the community. I thought that was a really great idea. Yeah. And finally, I received in my mailbox this proclamation from Governor Wolf for a honeybee day. I know honeybees are really big and really important to a lot of those residents in the borough. So I just wanted to share with you that August 20th was now going to be Honeybee Day, and the proclamation from Governor Wolf.
Can has there been any indication from the developer at 200 North Main as to when they expect to get I guess, ruling on their tax credit application?
I believe during the zoning hearing, he said he thought that they would hear in the fall, but I will certainly follow up, because I know we have to have a conversation about the stormwater. Have you heard anything? And where do you stand with the tax credits?
That will delay the project, of course.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's kind of the conversation we were having, as it's, hard to ask for a developer to put money for something that they aren't even really approved to do yet, right? So that, we have to look at that at all angles, and Kate's gonna be involved in the conversation, and then Chad and Steve and I, and just kind of see where that takes us. Sure.
Any other questions from the manager? All right, if not, we'll go to new business discussion items. Excuse me. First item A, Montgomery County Consortium of Communities, 2022 through 2023 Salt Rock bid results.
So Hatfield Borough has been the host for the Montgomery County Consortium rock salt bid for the past couple of years now. More ever since I became on the board and I was president. Hatfield Borough just took on the role of kind of collecting the information because the consortium actually hired Urshitz to be their engineer for this rock salt bid. So it just kind of worked out good for us, and it was easy for myself to work with Chad. So this year, we put the package together, and the rock salt bid came back with Riverside Construction Materials with a bid of $68 per delivered ton to be on for consideration this evening. This bid is no liability to Hatfield Borough. We are simply the host of the bid. There was some issues that came in that Andrew reviewed with the bid results. Everything worked out and we checked references, so it's on for consideration this evening. If you were to award the bid, I will let the consortium know tomorrow, and then everyone can start ordering their salt.
Is this a new vendor we haven't used before? Is that?
Yes, so in the past several years, we've used Morton, and they've won, and Riverside has come in as the second lowest bidder. This year, they just won the bid, and we had to check their references, and everything was glowing.
No issues from any of the customer, or any of their other customers, and any issues with them?
No, Chad did, and we asked some consortium members, and everything came back good.
Question? All right, we'll go to item B, resolution 2022-27, recognizing Public Power Week.
So this resolution is an annual resolution. As being a public power provider, we always recognize Public Power Week, which is going to be October 2nd through the 8th of this year. I am currently working with the Public Information Officer on a public power campaign that we are going to go strong for public power, and we will continue on for the rest of the year and years to continue and to come, as we have talked about in Utilities Committee, of just trying to promote public power and what public power means to Hatfield Borough. And I also wanted to add that I am going to be working on a feature article for the fall newsletter that will talk about public power. So because it's public power in October, I thought that was a great time to feature public power in our new newsletter and do an article. I'm not sure if that is going to get some interviews from maybe some representatives at AMP or APPA, just something to talk about what public power means and what public power is. This resolution is going to be on for consideration at the September 21st meeting.
Question? All right, we'll go to item C, resolution 2022-28, recognizing Fire Prevention Week.
Along with Public Power Week, Fire Prevention Week is also in October. This year, it's October 9th through the 15th, and Hatfield Borough always does an annual resolution to recognize Fire Prevention Week. Along the same lines as Public Power, I have reached out to Steve Sherlock, Chief of Hatfield Volunteer Fire Company, and asked if he would like to be featured in our fall newsletter with an interview and an article featuring him as Chief and the Hatfield Volunteer Fire Company, just to for all they do for the community and to support Fire Prevention Week. And this resolution is on for consideration at the September 21st meeting.
Any question?
I have one additional item for new business, and this is just informational. The mayor and I were out last week delivering certificates for the businesses of the month, and we stopped by Fran Snyder Plumbing and discovered
Fran Taylor.
I'm sorry, and discovered that there is a problem in part of the borough with mail delivery. It was brought to our attention. They're located on Dawson Street in that alleyway. they've been having some problems getting their mail. Recently, from my understanding, is that the postmaster left, retired, whatever, and the postmaster at the Hatfield Post Office. And they've been experiencing problems with not getting their mail 2, maybe 3 times a week. And there's another business in the same area, general area where they're located, with the same problem. So I reached out to Steve Malagari's office to talk to them, and they suggested they couldn't do anything in the local level because it's federally related. Get in touch with either Brian Fitzpatrick or Casey, Senator Casey. And I did call both offices to let them know about the situation. I did not get anything, at least at this point, back from Fitzpatrick, but I did get a call back from Casey's office saying that apparently, due to the recent cutbacks in the Postal Service overall, a number of problems cropped up, not only here, but in Lansdale, in Southern, and a few other areas around. And it's being looked into. And that's about all that I could get. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention in case you start hearing any other complaints from any of the other businesses or residents in the borough here. Because we were not aware of that until we started talking to them. So, and that's the way it is. I have been in contact with Sandy there and told them, where they stand. So I haven't heard anything back since the initial contact, but they said that they're aware of the situation and they will, let me know what's going on, which I don't know how long that's going to be.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we'll go to item 8, old business.
There is no old business this evening.
I have
Do you?
one question. too.
Sure, yeah.
Where do we stand with PP&L and startup of the generator? What is the situation? Have they done their final check? Don't hide under the table.
Nothing additional has been done at this point. So back to where we have it, where it's back in PPNL's court. I have not even heard any communications from anybody regarding the whole process. So as far as I'm aware, everything is still back in PPNL's court on getting their deficiencies corrected.
Aren't they supposed to be out to investigate or check our connection for something in a few weeks? Last time I heard.
They came out, they did some tests down at the transition site on Lambert Street. And some of the tests they did were fine, some of them were not okay. And the things that were not okay and did not pass the test were things that PP&L themselves spec'd out to have added to this whole process. So they dictated what had to get put in, and then the things that they said had to get put in did not pass their own tests.
Okay,
So
never ending.
I was told at that point that it should be, 1 to 2 weeks until everything's resolved. And it's been about 1 to 2 weeks. Probably 2 to 3 weeks at this point.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Good thing it was Ann's money, not ours, so. Although I'd love to start reaping the savings. Yeah. All right, if there's no new business or questions, we'll go on to item number 9, action items. So the first is a motion to consider awarding the Montgomery County Consortium of Committees, MCCC 2022 through 2023 rock salt bid to Riverside Construction Materials Incorporated, amount of $68 per delivered ton and the amount of $68 per non-delivered ton. Any motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Any motion from Councilor Stevens, a second from Councilor Gerard. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No, so the motion passes. All right, action items were quick and short today. So do we have a executive session?
Yes, we have an executive session to discuss personnel litigation and real estate.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.